High followers of Stoicism thinking. Let's start. Even if you are in a relationship, you sense that something is wrong. You have a gut feeling that something is off. When you inquire about her background or bring up other men's names in passing during a typical discussion, she becomes quite reserved. You may be sliding into a trap if you're looking for a reliable relationship, but I'll help you get out of it now. Simply keep an eye out for certain indicators to determine if she has had several sexual partners. You may infer a lot about her prior lifestyle from these 10 indicators. Recall that finding the ideal person who won't manipulate your emotions and is willing to commit to a long-term relationship is more important than passing judgment. So watch the video through to the finish to see if you should break up with a woman right away, or whether it's worth starting a relationship. First of all, she finds physical intimacy to be quite comfortable. Rather than being great, your first intimate time with her was concerning. Yes, you were expecting something spectacular, but what you got was something shockingly intense. Physical intimacy may make her feel very confident and at ease, which may be a sign of numerous prior experiences. In case you're unclear, allow me to clarify. If she strikes up a conversation instead of you, that may indicate she has some experience. She welcomes all of your advances and isn't afraid to provide kisses and hugs, in addition to embracing anything you suggest. It may be a hint you shouldn't ignore if your gut tells you she's had a lot of experience with physical closeness. But you shouldn't draw hasty judgments. She may be more expressive and skilled in bed by nature, but you need look for other clues to make sure she's the ideal partner for you. Secondly, she stays far from emotional intimacy. No matter how powerful he is, men occasionally experience emotional vulnerability and turn to their partners to fill that gap. In order to get through difficult times together, couples need to have a spiritual connection and emotional support in their relationship. However, what happens if your significant other ignores your need for emotional closeness? This conduct, which involves avoiding emotional connection, is typically displayed by women who have had several sexual relationships. Is she truly trying to avoid making an emotional connection? How can you tell? She may be avoiding emotional connection if you try to have a meaningful conversation, and she seems to favor frivolous banter, changes the topic fast, or avoids talking about her feelings. It could be time to give up if you think your efforts are in vain. It can also indicate that she is more reticent or has experienced emotional trauma in the past. Perhaps you ought to wait a little while longer for her to decide. 3. She tells ambiguous or contradictory tales. Inconsistencies within her stories are a significant indicator that she may have had more than one sexual partner in the past. If, even after several months of dating, you are still unsure if she has disclosed anything about her background to you in a clear and consistent manner, it may be a warning flag. She might tell you one narrative one day and another the next, for instance, mentioning multiple guys by name, talking about a long-term ex while denying ever having a serious relationship, or detailing a past partner's activity that doesn't align with her current hobbies, are a few examples of these contradictions. It's critical to keep in mind that not everyone enjoys revisiting past romantic relationships. Some individuals might rather just talk about what's going on right now. It's worth carefully investigating, though, if her ambiguity or inconsistencies make you feel uneasy or suspicious. What steps may you take in this case? Ask her to explain her past in a serious discussion about this subject. If she is sincere about wanting a relationship, her actions will speak louder than words. It's encouraging if she shares the truth and provides warmth and clarity to fill in the blanks. However, if she keeps telling you different stories, it can be a sign that you should break up with her before she toys with you. Recall that you should never make this kind of decision in a hurry. Open communication and time are necessary in relationships. Allow enough time to pass and see whether she gradually becomes more evasive in her explanation, or whether, once she gains your trust, she begins to reveal more details about her history. Number 4. She usually makes last-minute adjustments to plans. Does she make last-minute plans cancellations more frequently? There are times when these swings are even more annoying than the stock market. Ever questioned why this keeps occurring? If plans are canceled once or twice for apparent reasons, that's understandable. But if this occurs frequently, there's clearly a problem. Observe that she consistently gives evasive explanations for these cancellations. She may claim that there was a last-minute meeting, but unexpected meetings are rare. Alternatively, she might bring up a friend who is visiting the area, but she takes great care to keep their name a secret. She shouldn't be allowed to play with you in this way. She is obviously putting something else before your relationship, and it is a warning flag that needs to be taken seriously. It's critical to keep in mind that everyone leads hectic lives and that unforeseen circumstances can arise. Perhaps she has a hard work with erratic hours, or she wants to help a close friend who is going through a difficult period. But it's worth talking if these last-minute cancellations are starting to feel like a habit, and you feel left out or insignificant. Here, communication is crucial once more. Ask her politely why she has been canceling events so frequently. Make it known that you find this intolerable, and then work together to find a solution. 5th number. She keeps making comparisons between you and past lovers. Since you are all she knows, a woman starting a relationship for the first time will never compare you to someone else. Though it's possible that she would unintentionally or intentionally compare you to her ex-boyfriends if she has dated other people in the past. Is she making comparisons between you and her previous boyfriends? She could say that the steak you made at home tastes better than what she used to have with her ex. Or she might tell you about how her ex loved to do something that you never recommended. She might contrast your shortcomings with those of her ex-boyfriend during a heated quarrel. No matter how subtle the similarities are, they might nonetheless make you feel uneasy. It's crucial to remember that you are not to blame for these comparisons. Someone who has dated several people will eventually start comparing them. She can't toy with you like way, and you need to let her know that. End the relationship immediately and let her know that you are more than just another guy if she constantly makes comparisons between you and other men. 6th, she keeps her phone use very private. When your significant other is nearby, her phone seems to become her most valued item. When she answers calls in front of you, she makes sure to keep it face down, rapidly flips the screen, or gets very sly. This kind of behavior raises questions about if she's hiding something. She may be keeping her phone hidden from you for a variety of reasons. She might want to make sure you don't have access to her message history or old photos, or she might still be in touch with some of her ex-boyfriends. She may get theatrical if you ask to view her phone, since she may think you don't trust her. You can find yourself in a tricky situation where you are unable to inquire about her phone anymore. You should constantly think about other possible explanations or logical stories before drawing any conclusions. Everybody has the right to some privacy, and some people may just be fierce defenders of their personal space. Perhaps she cherishes her alone time for browsing, or has work-related chats she doesn't want to talk about. There will come a day, though, when the pair won't need to conceal their phones from one another, if their relationship is strong enough. Give it some time to see whether she evolves. If not, you will have every right to terminate the relationship after her phone activity have been verified. 7th, she gives careful consideration to how she looks. Not only does she keep her phone to herself, But she can also be incredibly self-conscious about how she looks and how you seem. She can take great care in her appearance and spend a lot of time grooming herself, often glancing in the mirror or praising others' looks. Although being concerned with looks is a healthy thing, it might also indicate that she has dated other attractive guys in the past and now feels that her former sexual experiences are connected to her physical appearance. She may be more interested in what's outside than what's within if she is unduly preoccupied with how she looks or how other people see her. In severe situations, she might even make physical comparisons between herself and any random person she sees on her phone or her ex. You have the right to inquire as to why, if she spends time comparing herself to others rather than engaging in meaningful conversation on issues that call for depth of emotion. Make it plain that you feel insecure and that she should cease these shallow chats if, even after a serious talk about the subject, she doesn't stop them. If not, it would be preferable to split up before it's too late to decide. Keep in mind that certain people are inherently more self-conscious about their appearance. Therefore, even if she acts in this way, and you can clearly see her past, it simply indicates that this is the way she is, and she needs to accept it. Eighth, she doesn't seem interested in talking about sexual health. Although discussing sex might be uncomfortable, it's a very essential subject, particularly when it comes to sexual health. Every couple should have this conversation since it guarantees that they are both in agreement on safe sexual practices and fosters an environment in which they may freely express their needs and desires. What if she never shows interest in talking about her sexual health? This could imply that she is concealing something, leaving you to speculate as to what it might be. Her past may have something to do with her lack of interest in talking about sexual health. She may be more vulnerable to STDs due to her various relationships, and she could be reluctant to discuss them with you because she could infect you as well. She might not want to be scrutinized for her past sexual experiences or the form of contraception she may be using, which is another factor. But in order to protect both sides and obtain more concrete evidence regarding whether or not she has had several partners in the past, it is imperative that sexual health be discussed at all costs. As a result, be straightforward and state that these issues must be addressed in order for the relationship to continue. It may be a positive indication if she appears afraid, but yet responds to your questions. However, she's becoming more difficult to deal with, so it will be easier for you to make the painful decision to leave her if she gets defensive and starts giving you ambiguous replies. Number 9. She doesn't introduce her friends to you. Meeting your partner's friends is a significant step since it gives you a chance to get to know her social circle and establish a connection with significant individuals in her life. What happens, though, if your spouse is hesitant or declines to introduce you to her friends? Every time you bring up the matter, she can keep coming up with reasons or shift the discussion. This is an extremely clear indication that she might be keeping anything significant from you. A woman will want to introduce you to everyone if they are truly in a relationship. She tries to avoid introducing you to friends only when there's a chance of anything greater happening. She might be worried that a friend who is aware of her past will divulge details about her sexual past, or that she may have had a previous relationship with one of those pals and was reluctant to tell you about it. As a result, even when you inquire about her pals, she casually drops the topic or changes the topic. It can seem as though she doesn't even think you're important enough to discuss her pals, which can leave you feeling puzzled or even ridiculous. You cannot allow friends to be hidden, regardless of the motivation behind it. Maybe you could get a better idea of who she is by speaking with some of her friends directly. Or you could just chat to her directly, as if that conversation will determine whether or not the relationship should continue. 10th position. Her priorities shift, and you are left out. Our spouse becomes one of the most significant individuals in our lives when we start a relationship. They are given precedence. This is the functioning of psychology. Therefore, if she makes you feel as though you're not a part of her, or if you're always at the bottom of her list and her priorities aren't aligned with yours, it just implies she's still drawn to other people. Her priorities may not always seem to have good grounds, despite the appearance of such at times. She might, for instance, start prioritizing activities that make you feel excluded, or start spending all of her free time with new acquaintances instead of the plans you established together. This can help you determine whether her priorities are genuine or whether you are just not important to her right now. She has obviously had several sexual partners in the past, if you have also seen a lot of other symptoms. Recall that the important thing is not to judge her, but rather if you can accept that. It's time to part ways if this is too much for you. It's never a good idea to jump to conclusions. Should you observe any indicators, there may always be an alternative reason. My recommendation is to give the relationship some time, find out more about her, and assess whether or not she would make a compatible spouse. However, never accept anything less than what you deserve. Never give someone who is only playing a relationship a chance if you want a deeper, long-term relationship. Recall that you are a very valuable man. In conclusion, we have seen that it can be upsetting to be in a relationship when your gut tells you something is off. This guide will help you make sense of your uncertainties and decide whether to pursue the relationship further by outlining telltale indications that could indicate your spouse has had other sexual partners in the past. When taken together, these indicators offer a complete picture of her actions and how they might affect your relationship. First and foremost, notice if she seems unduly at ease during physical contact right away. This could be a sign of prior experience. Additionally, take note if she shies away from emotional intimacy or if her past experiences seem hazy or contradictory. These behaviors could imply that she is concealing significant aspects of her life. Frequent last-minute plan changes are another red flag, especially if the justifications are evasive and suggest that you might not be a priority. She may still be tied to her past relationships if she frequently makes comparisons between you and her ex-partners. This can damage your self-esteem. Observe her phone behavior as well. She might be concealing anything if she keeps the gadget hidden or avoids using it around you. Overly preoccupied with her looks or yours may also be a sign of shallow importance shaped by previous relationships. Her lack of interest in talking about her sexual health is another important factor, since it could be an indication that she is concealing illnesses or intimate past information. Furthermore, don't disregard it if she declines to introduce you to her friends. This could indicate that there are details about her background that she is reluctant to share. Finally, it can mean that other people are still capturing her interest if her priorities shift and you start to feel left out. In the end, each of these indicators needs to be thoroughly evaluated without making snap decisions. Since relationships are complicated, honest and open communication is essential. It's critical to have open discussions in order to have a deeper understanding of her background and goals if a number of these indicators are present. Above all, be sure you never accept less than what you deserve. Look for a companion that values your emotions and is dedicated to a committed relationship. Never forget that you are a very valuable person, and you should be treated with respect and value by others. I genuinely hope you have found this communication to be useful. We appreciate you seeing the entire video. It's admirable how committed you are to finding a real and healthy relationship. Please remember to subscribe to our channel and like the video if you enjoyed the information. We'll send you more insightful advice. Saying, "I deserve the best" in a comment will demonstrate that you've come thus far and that you're genuinely interested in forming enduring partnerships. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you in our upcoming video.